Alright, so you've seen the title of the video because some of you have requested that I check out some more from Digitalocity, and I will oblige. But I just came off of watching the Super Bowl halftime, which was amazing. Kendrick Lamar went and did the thing with a crowd watching all over the world. Yeah, even here in Europe, and we are enjoying the fuck out of that. It's perfect on Black History Month. Went a little bit taunting, but that is what is expected. I'm already seeing people coping a lot about the messaging that came across with that, but like, what did you expect was gonna happen?
The revolution about to be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy.
He's an artist and a damn good one at that, and one that is still with both of his feet on the ground. I have to specify that because the specimen that we're about to talk about today is on a whole other level. You've wanted me to check out some more Degenerosity, and this is the perfect excuse for me to jump into the type of content that he tends to cover, because Kanye is he's special. Like, I used to be a Kanye stan. I'm not gonna deny that. People will write titles like this, I miss the old Kanye, and I understand where it comes from, okay? I've been there. I've tried to not justify his deeds. It's almost impossible, but I've tried to rationalize to people why it is that I still listen to his music, because I would like to say that I have, I guess, the ability to separate art from the artist and recognize when there still is some artistry in a person. At least I like to believe that I do have that ability. So I was still coping, trying to stick with the music. But I want to say that around like 2018 with Kid See Ghost, right? The last time that he had a collab with Kid Cudi, I had to give it up because, yeah, I had enough of his antics by that point. He was too much.
About slavery for 400 years? For 400 years? That sounds like a choice.
But I will say that people who write statements like they miss the old Kanye, he never left because Kanye was always bad. At least that is the angle that I'm going to be going into this video with. So without further ado, let's watch.
I never hoped to make a video like this. However, at the same time, I'm surprised I hadn't made it sooner. I guess I've been in denial for so long, telling myself this is just another one of his episodes. This is just a phase, not accepting the fact that this is who he is. He is not the person that I once admired. I'm about to start talking as if someone died in my family, or I was just diagnosed with cancer. But me making this video is almost just as bad. I miss the old Kanye. I don't like him anymore. I hate this new one. For the longest time, I believed him to be one of the greatest artists to ever live. And I've been jamming his music literally since elementary school. His albums have had some
graduation
shaping me into the person I am today. Not only that, I also admired his arrogant personality, which people would argue that was his excuse to be an asshole. And looking back at it, yeah, you're right.
I mean, granted, I'll say this. Nobody can take away how instrumental in revolutionizing parts of rap Kanye was. He opened the floodgates to a new type of rapper to enter the scene, ones that were very good and were not all about that life. Like, I don't think that people often tend to grasp how instrumental he was at doing that. Because, you know what, I'm gonna do a quick history lesson. Not to bore you, but to get a point across. Because like mid-1980s, early 1990s was like the golden age for rappers. Not for the artists themselves, but for the people who would acquire the right through the master records and of course the licenses for everything. Those who would decide where a certain song will be broadcasted, on what show and or what venue they would play on. Those are the type that... Those are the people that we colloquially call the gatekeepers, who would literally decide what was going where. and they were consolidating a lot of the talents of rap, and especially of the two subgenres, gangster rap and what I like to call like party rap. Like, I'm not saying that as a rapper you could not succeed by just doing your thing, because things were obviously evolving organically by word of mouth and or sometime getting your stuff played at a local radio station. But like with the internet not being a thing at the time, right, less than like 5% of the world population had access to the internet by then. The World Wide Web only existed by 1990 through some engineers at CERN. Record labels and the gatekeepers were the ones who decided where music went. Take the example of Eric B and Rakim with the song and album Paid in Full. In 1986, they were signed to Zakaya Records. Later on, it was through Def Jam and Russell Simmons, another monster with his own nasty stuff in his closet. Then you got MCA Records with Erwin Azov, and Allen Records with Chris Blackwell. So like you see how things rotate from like the roots and then move on to a wider and wider audience. And naturally, of course, they realize that the gangster aesthetic is something that is selling a lot more, and they want to push that forth. And you have even individuals like freaking Diddy who has to get involved in there, because everything revolving around rap has to deal with him, because he is this party organizer who has to host these conglomerate parties to invite like famous people, and then through that people get to share their music and their art.
Black shows have not sold out in years since Triple Threat. And I'm telling you right now, it's easy. If we just do this couple of things, you're gonna sell records, and at the end of the day, you're gonna be going and playing to packed houses.
Yeah, he was doing that all. Now I hear you asking, what does this have to do with Kanye West? I'm getting to that part. Now, let's say you were portraying yourself as a one-man army like DMX, or a carefree thug like Ice Cube, or somebody with the palsy like NWA. You would be the type of rapper who will flaunt their wealth like Notorious B.I.G. and hang out with Diddy. So like those were the options that you had if you wanted to succeed with the gangster aesthetic. Of course, there were outliers, but there was also another subgenre of rap that was not really desired to be pushed forth, because this one was a bit more associated with like the militant side of hip-hop, those who were fighting the power. This is what we call conscious rap. That's where you will find artists like Nas, Talib Kweli, and ironically enough, Kanye West, because these were rappers who were talking about things more than just what was going on the street necessarily between the gang warfare and flaunting their wealth, but actually talking about the black experience. This is what I know that this is the term that it has been bastardized by so many people, but this was what woke rap was truly about. And Kanye, funnily enough, did include a lot of that in his music, and I believe that was a lot of the appeal of his stuff. Like, think about in 2007, especially 2007, you have the stereotypical gangster. You have 50 Cent, who is about to release his third album. Then comes in on the 11th of September, right? He's about to release his album. Then comes in Kanye, who was supposed to release his on the 8th. Moves his release date on the same day as 50 Cent to release one album, Graduation. And dude is... it is a self-deletion move, because again, the gangster look is the thing that is selling like fruitcakes. Everybody loves it. You know the archetype of 50 Cent. Bullet wounds of the wazoo, like was he Kenshiro for Fist of the North Star, rocking the bulletproof vest. The whole aesthetic is what people recognize when they think gangster rap. Put that in contrast with a dude who's rapping about failing in college. It's not the same thing, it's night and day. And that's why you have the likes of 50 going on TV saying that Kanye has not a chance to sell anything during that day.
I mean, it's big for hip-hop for us to be coming out on the same date, but Kanye West doesn't stand a chance. You know, I'm gonna tell you that early.
But what happened? Kanye outsold 50 Cent. Through a move like that, he showed the world that there was a desire for something different. And he opened a new path for artists like freaking, what do you say, Kid Cudi, who are now rapping about the depression. Lupe Fiasco, who's talking about just skating around and passing time with the homies and having fun. How about some other belligerent dude who is almost as crazy but somehow still more down to earth? Tyler the Creator coming in there clutch. And of course, who can forget about Drake?
Drake?
Like, that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying that Kanye was instrumental in creating something new. And not only that, he also continued by implementing conscious rap into some of his tracks. From albums like College Dropout and tracks like Jesus Walks to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and that final soundtrack, what is it called? Who'll Survive in America, where he samples parts of Jill Heron Scott. Dude had all of the appeal of the black community rushing towards him, wanting to support. That was the thing that made Kanye Kanye. But for every single time that he said and did something good like that, he would be talking about how he had a PhD, a pretty huge dick, how he only wants to marry a porn star because he experienced some stuff in Brazil.
I would marry a porn star. I came to that conclusion after going to Brazil.
And how he's a sick fuck who likes a quick fuck. Like, I can't with this man. Like, he has been crazy from the get-go.
But back then, I saw it as confidence. Someone who was not afraid to speak their own opinion, even if that opinion didn't really make much sense.
Well, Harriet Tubman never actually freed the slaves. She just had the slaves go work for other white people.
Y'all, we leaving right now.
Even when I didn't agree with almost
Yeah.
all of his rants, I would ignore it and pass it off as, oh, he's having a bit of an episode. He's not mentally well. And, excuse me. And I believe I only told myself this because I was still enjoying his new music at the time, and also I didn't want to believe this was the person he is. I mean, in many of his old music and interviews, the things he has been saying these past few years contradicts what he used to say he stood by. So I used to tell myself, oh, he's being misunderstood. You know, when he said slavery was a choice, he meant that they were mentally still slaves, you know.
Bruh. And he did that on Black History Month. His current tirade on Twitter on Black History Month. Dude sacrificed all integrity, all charitability he could have had to become an attention-seeking bitch. Yes, this is the part where the chill zone uses profanities, and I'm not apologizing for that, because when in face of a belligerent idiot, sometimes you gotta let loose.
I used to be one of those dumbass fans doing mental gymnastics trying to justify or explain why he said this horrible thing. And I didn't really realize it then because I was in denial that he's really a cornball. And because his old music being some of my favorite songs ever, I was still holding on to the kid in me that looked up to this man as an inspiration. I was living in the past. Nobody want to admit their childhood heroes are horrible people, but it comes to a point where you ask yourself, why are you defending this?
Yeah.
Why are you still on their side? Because the more you continue to do it, you start to condone their terrible behavior, and then you become a clown just like them. No offense to the people who actually work as clowns. I have respect for y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I had this realization ever since the Alex Jones interview. I had no defense for that foolish.
I would say that you should have given up already, but if the Alex Jones bit was the part where you signed off on, I understand. Because this is Alex Jones, who has made fun, jested, ridiculed even, parents who were mourning the dead children from school shootings, calling it a hoax, making up governmental conspiracies about it all. But even him, in the face of objectively wrong display of fascism and outright just Nazism, was like, nah, dog. You're crazy. They call me crazy. No. You're crazy. When Alex Jones has the moral upper hand over you, or at least is displaying a more moral attributes than you, then you've completely lost the plot, man. You've been sent to the shadow realm. I don't know what you've been drinking. Definitely not the water that turned the frogs gay, but something even even more dangerous. God damn. Like, again, Alex fucking Jones.
Which is why I didn't really talk about it much at the time it happened, but I still naively had a little sense of hope. He'll realize the error of his actions and apologize. I mean, he did watch Superbad with Jonah Hill, and he said he stopped being racist. So, maybe. And I also believe people can change, and I like having that optimistic view of the world. It keeps me sane. But I also know most people don't change, especially when they're adults. They remain dickheads for the rest of their sorry lives, and Kanye has proven that time and time again, and he has proven that again recently with his new batch of tweets.
It is not a new thing that Kanye did back then. Like, I respect the music that he would do. He is insane as using stuff. I have made references to like his 808 tracks and the thing that he did with Caroline Shaw with Say You Will. The whole thing of him using the human voice as like an instrument was genius. I like it. But he's been allowed to yap for far too long without actually adding anything of consistency to the conversations that he brings. And the thing was that people just gave him a pass every single time because, oh, he made graduation. Oh no, he actually is kind of woke in his rhetoric. No. I would not give him a pass. Why? Because you would realize that there was a pattern. Every single time, he would just say things. Perhaps not necessarily because they meant anything to him, but just because he needed a reaction. And one of the clearest examples of that was in 2005. Hurricane Katrina.
Destruction of the spirit of the people of southern Louisiana and Mississippi may end up being the most tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Please call.
The world was set aflame. Like, dude turned into the freaking Dixie chick at that point. You need to remember, 2005. This was not a thing that people did back then. This was the type of behavior that you occasionally would see at the Oscars. Dude did that on national TV. That was wild. And that's the thing that I think Kanye noticed. That he will catch attention by just spewing out some few controversial things and get the people going. And frankly, I just find it very sad because he was just rage baiting the entire time.
Like, oh my God, bro. The Virgil tweet hurt my heart. That was disgusting. He also said a bunch of other terrible things. He just going on a whole crazy rant. So many things that we'd be here all day if I went through all of them. I think he's still tweeting as I'm talking. Also, the tweets themselves are pretty self-explanatory on why they're terrible. And he said free Diddy.
No!
And not only that, he's currently collabing with Diddy's son, who's also an alleged horrible human.
Lock him up. Lock him up. Listen. I said before, Jay-Z was already hanging out with Diddy. So Kanye seeing Jay-Z as his favorite artist would kind of make sense that he would have gotten some of... Oh no. Okay. Quick little thing. What if Kanye's whole porn addiction was sparked by him attending a Diddy party? What if his whole strategy of how his world revolves around wenches has just been a wonderful disguise of him to hide his Diddy tendencies? It would make sense. Like, I'm not advocating for conspiracy theories here, but just watch what has happened to his relationship since Kim K.
I'm a sick fuck, I like a quick fuck.
Because I refuse to believe that it has all to do with the Kardashians. Yes, there are theories that there is Zika in the vag, that every single black man that comes in contact with any of those just loses their mind. But what about Pete Davidson? Was it like two negative meeting each other just cancelling themselves out? Or is there like a weird chemical reaction when you have way too much melanin? Oh my days. Okay, I'm gonna calm down right now because this is getting insane.
In a Yeezy and Sean John collab, promoting this message, to free Diddy. Do I need to explain why this is disgusting?
Diddy, come on out.
What?
I better not see.
What the fuck was that? With Dark Souls music?
I better not see anybody walking around with these shirts on. If you do, you might as well tattoo "Free R. Kelly" on your forehead. Don't free Diddy. Never free Diddy. Keep his ass in prison. He probably having a good time in there anyway. And he's still tweeting his loyal support for Nazis.
Bro, you're black.
Saying Hitler was so fresh, he had that shit on.
Adolf Dribbler.
I've never seen an artist so washed in my life. Not only that, you're black. They hate you too. And some defenders might say he's autistic. He can't help himself. Please do
Some
not
Elon
give me that
bullshit.
Elon
Stop.
Musk ass excuse. Or
Thank you, man. Like, how are people feeling some degree of ambiguity with any of this today? Listen. As somebody who's literally in a relationship with a person who's neurodivergent, and I guess you could consider me as one. I have narcolepsy, so my brain chemistry is a little bit different. If you have mental health issues, you do not seek heal, you seek help.
some might say he's just rage baiting. Bro, if he's rage baiting or not, it's still lame. It's loser behavior. There's no excuse to be had. That's just him. It's sad seeing a fall off to this degree, especially from someone I've once looked up to. And this is the biggest fall off I've ever seen in my life. From being known as one of the greatest musicians in not only hip hop but across all genres,
I guess
to
we'll
a
never
bigoted,
know.
lame, desperate for attention seeking clown who now will only be mostly known for his controversy rather than his music.
Yeah.
He has ruined his legacy. So please do not comment about me making a Vultures 3 video or Bully video, cause that's...
I'm sorry, what? He said vulture followed by a tree. He made 3 of those? Why am I even worried anymore? This is the problem, okay? When a person has had such an emotional influence on you with his music, that's how it hits you. The generosity here has been like showing clips of like songs from late registration, and I was playing. This is even worse. I was playing Drive Slow today on my way home.
It's not happening. Those albums aren't anything to look forward to anyway. You might ask, what happened to separating art from the artist? First
What
of all,
art?
I'm most likely gonna remake that video because it's not the best explained. There's so much stuff I failed to talk about in that vid.
Smoking crack.
And second of all, he's putting AI in his music now. So, where's the art? What art am I separating from his new albums? There's no art to be found with AI. Man.
To the people who have linked some Skibidi Toilet videos on the Discord, this is why I'm not reacting to them. I've been trying to avoid the brain rot.
And I'm just tired. Tired and exhausted of the bull. I listened to Heard Him Say the other day, his opening song from Late Registration, and I almost cried. Like tears welling up in my eyes.
Mr. West.
Emotional. Not like sobbing, like, like, nah, not like that. But my chest was hurting because I genuinely can't believe the man who made this song is the person he is today.
But nothing lasts forever, but be honest, babe. Getting Kanye off the net's the only way. Like seriously, get him off the internet. The dude is rotting his brain.
I'm not looking forward to any current or future Kanye news, whether that be his music, clothes, tweets, or him and his wife being weird. None of that. I'm done. I gotta pick a new person to stand now. So this channel is switching from Kanye to Playboy Cardi. Yeah, this is a Cardi only channel now. He's never done a terrible thing in his life. All my favorite artists are terrible people. But yeah, I'm done with Kanye from now on. So in conclusion, I'm just gonna listen to the Smiths instead to get my mind off of this. Morrissey has never done me wrong. Oh wait, he's evil too? Man, fuck!
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I never hope.
No. Yeah, this was a heavy one. I know that a lot of you would have heard this a lot if you are a Kanye fan, but the man needs help. If not institutionalized, somebody needs to give him some meds or whatever to just bring him back somehow. Like, I refuse to accept the whole thing that he crashed out because of the loss of his mom or whatever. I've lost a parent. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's the Kanye dark magic is coming after me. No, like, I've lost a parent. I also have a mom who's very sick. It's not an excuse for you to be losing your mind like this and just constantly seeking attention, man. It's fucking nasty. I hate that. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. Please do make sure to go and subscribe to the Degenerosity channel. And of course, if you like this one, don't forget to like and also subscribe to this channel. That being said, wish you all to have a wonderful day. See you guys in the next one. Bye.